Have you ever wanted to own your own restaurant before? Restaurants realistically take a lot of money, time, and a lot of research to get it running and get it running successfully. Most of us like eating out at restaurants. I can't think of anyone I know that doesn't. But restaurants can get a little bit pricey at times. So today I'll talk to you about how much food trucks make, how much time it takes, and different places you can go, and how to start one up successfully and have a successful little food truck. So, the problem I'm addressing today is the lack of knowledge people have of running a food truck and how much effort it actually takes to make a successful food truck. So, there are many people in the world who have been very successful with running food trucks, and I'll get into it and explain how they did it. An example of a successful food truck owner is Mr. Varamini. From the article published by Wall Street Journal, it stated that food trucks have become ubiquitous by over the past decade and lured many entrepreneurs with the idea of a loving restaurant without the rent and pricey trappings that come with working out of a building. And next, obviously, food trucks are everywhere in Miami Valley, and now some of the most successful mobile eateries are spawning spin-offs and transitioning into traditional restaurants, stated by WYSO, published in 2018. And I talked about that in my last speech. I mentioned that same article, and so obviously I think it will be very helpful to owning your own food truck. You have to go look at all the articles, and they're all very, very helpful. Also, according to a 2012 forecast by Intuit Inc., the food truck industry is projected to account for about $2.7 billion in food revenue by 2017, making it a substantial in the food service industry, stated by Jessica Huey, published in 2015. So you might be thinking, how much does a food truck make, and is it actually profitable? Well, in the article by Food Truck Empires, it states that according to the responses in the responses to our survey, or to their survey, 85% of full-time food trucks generate over $100,000 in annual gross revenue. Now that's $100,000. That's a lot of money that I'm currently not making in college, so a food truck sounds like a great idea. And over half of the vendors that responded sold $150,000 or more from their mobile food units last year. That was the direct quote from Food Truck Empires. Now, what steps should you take to run a food truck? Well, from the article published by Webstaurant, it gives 9 steps to run a food truck. Research your food truck scene, choose a food truck concept, write business plan, get the funding, get the proper license and permits it takes to run a food truck, purchase equipment and supplies, and choose a POS system. Invest in marketing and advertisement. If you do all those steps, your food truck should run pretty successfully, and the steps seem easy enough. Getting startup money, that's a different conversation, but it always ends up coming back to help you. So what exactly are food trucks doing during COVID-19, or coronavirus as you might call it? Well, as we know, COVID-19 has made many businesses and restaurants close due to the pandemic. Yet food trucks are still striving during these times. A quote from one article: when businesses were ordered to close and social distance requirements went into effect amid the COVID-19 pandemic, restaurants were among the hardest hit. Definitely the hardest hit. Like, we all remember what it was like when quarantines first started, especially every food truck, every restaurant we saw was closed down. But food trucks, luckily being portable, it's easier to run a business, especially when you're your own boss. So you can make a work schedule, you can make it a lot easier to work. But not all food service businesses were affected equally. So food trucks, or mobile food services, by their nature, have more flexibility to continue to operate, said by the article published on September 2nd by Andrew Haight. So after being informed about such usage with food trucks, I want you to also find out where you can learn more. So there are several resources here at the University of Arkansas to find out more about food trucks and how to properly run them. We first have the most useful resource provided by the University of Arkansas, and that is the library. The library has everything we could possibly need, and there's also resources like the internet, which can be easily accessible. We're all constantly on the internet. It's literally the only way we can get done with school is through the internet because of COVID. That's always fun. And YouTube is a great platform to gain some knowledge as well. There's a whole bunch of food truck videos out there. So it can be hard to make a change with only one person, but with many resources, we can change our future to a better one. So with this new information I presented to you today, we can go out there, get in a community, and share our knowledge, especially on how to run food trucks. We can lead others to change and enjoy a better quality of life. You know about food trucks and how successful owners have done it, so now you can go out there and bring in the same income and have the exact same lives as other successful food truck owners. It's an easy gig, so you know everything there is that I can tell you or help you with to know about food trucks. So we need to make sure to not keep this vital information to ourselves, but to share it with others. By making some changes and gaining knowledge, you can prolong your life and to see your future generations grow up to be a better world. Thank you.